Welcome to DWI episode 424242.
Yeah.
Ronnie Lott, fellas. And I'm talking about that episode that's getting ready to hit you hard straight up in the motherfucking dome piece. Without further ado, that's Dude, that's Wax, I'm Illy, we are DWI. Fellas, let's get right into it. Fellas, let's get right into it. So first thing I'd like to do is, give our shots out to the people who's no longer with us. And that's, the first one is Jame Earl Jones.
Right.
He was one of the most pivotal actors, to date. Oh yeah, man.
Iconic roles, man. You know what I mean? Darth Vader, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was in Conan the Barbarian and shit with that long ass fucking hair. You remember that shit?
Hell yeah, I remember
He
that
was,
shit,
killing
man.
that shit.
He even had the voice of Simba.
Right.
His dad, Mufasa. So, you know what I mean? Like King Joffrey Joffrey.
Right.
The list goes on and on. Man.
Right.
He's been in a lot of iconic movies, man.
Yeah.
Right. Like voice actor of the century.
Of the century, bro. Yeah, man. This dude, man, he was a juggernaut in the industry, man. He was in that movie Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
That was just like, the list is endless of how happy he made us viewing that brother, man, as far as the movie roles that he just drawn the character to the forefront and made us, pretty much fall in love with any movie he was in.
Right.
So that was a big loss, man.
Right.
I figured he was gonna come out with some shit coming up to where, it was gonna add on to his list of greatness.
Of his legacy.
Correct.
Yeah.
I seen this has something to do with Jame Earl Jones, but it was like an old video of him it was like the second episode of Sesame Street. And he was doing the alphabet. And it was the most intense fucking alphabet I ever, like, it was kind of scary. I'm like, did the kids learn from this shit, or did they just learn how to be scared of Jame Earl Jones? Because it was, like, if you got a chance, look it up. Jame Earl Jones on Sesame Street. Like, it was wild. Like, he was just like, hey.
His voice always reminded me of thunder.
Yeah.
It was almost like a roar. When he spoke, when he spoke, he was one of the type of actors that commanded respect or commanded, that part of what he was in.
Right.
That he magnified his role.
Yeah.
And anybody that came in contact with him as far as actors, he made them a little bit bigger just with his stage presence.
Right.
So I like to, say rest in power to him. And we lost a music icon, Frankie Beverly from Maze.
Yeah.
Happy feeling?
Ugh.
Bruh, that was a cookout. That's how you start the cook-off out.
Right.
You got the grill going on, you got the youngins running around, Huggies everywhere in the yard. It was just one of those things to where his music was, how should I say, the soundtrack to our childhood as far as the happy moments.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
He just brought it home with everything that he did, man, and he was a pioneer for the people that we know today and love, man.
Like you said, another icon, man, made nothing but smooth music that just make you feel, like all of their music makes you feel great, just makes you feel better. You know what I mean? And that's what music's supposed to do. It's, supposed to make you feel, and like that's what their music did.
Oh yeah, he created a type of sound that like it didn't make you want to create violence.
Right.
It didn't want to make you like fall out with family members or anything like that. It was just one of those things, like you said, dude, that made you feel good and made you happy when you heard the music, man.
Right.
So shout out to Frankie Beverly, man. May you rest in power, my brother. And with Jame Earl Jones, may the force be with you.
Right.
So, other than that, the other thing I'd like to address moving forward is Lil Wayne performing at the Super Bowl. Like, how do y'all feel about him not performing at the Super Bowl? Wax, I want to ask you first, like, what's your feelings on that?
Well, I mean, it kind of sucks that he's not performing in his home state and whatnot, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. You know what I mean? From like a standpoint of views and stuff, who would you rather watch right now? The person who's hot as a pistol, like Kendrick Lamar, or would you rather watch Lil Wayne like perform and give like a half-ass performance?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because like some of the clips that I saw weren't that great, and I'm a Wayne fan. You know what I mean? I'm not hating on him or anything, but I just don't think it's that big of a deal.
Right. What about you, dude?
I feel the same way. It's like they don't owe you. It would be nice, maybe they still got room to, you know what I mean? Because I think him and Kendrick got a song together, don't they? So Kendrick might slide him out there, but they don't owe you anything. So you know, and then you, like Wax said, the last couple performances that I've seen and that we've seen have been kind of lackluster. So it's like, you know, it would be cool to see him get up there though. You know what I mean? That is his hometown, and he was at one point the hottest rapper that ever lived, but he's not that. He ain't, you know what I mean? Like, he hasn't made nothing dope in a long time. So it's like, he can only blame himself, man. But like, you should have came out with a dope album this year. Like, you might have been able to get up there.
Now, do you feel like Jay-Z's gatekeeping?
Probably a little bit.
Everybody in the world feels like this is Jay-Z's fault. And from my understanding, they had a little bit of beef moving forward, like not only Jay-Z and Lil Wayne, but Birdman, Drake.
Right.
And it's just one of those things to where, like, is that the reason?
It could be. I mean, I would assume so. You know what I mean? Like, you say something about kidnapping my baby's mom and shit, my wife.
Right.
You ain't performing on shit.
Right.
If you leave it up to me.
But that was a long time ago.
I don't give a shit. I don't care how long ago it was. I might forgive you, but I'm not gonna forget.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And if I know I'm holding the keys to you driving away, I'm gonna hold on to those keys. That's just the way how I see it. I mean,
yeah, there definitely could be some of that gatekeeping. You know, Jay-Z's known for kind of doing that kind of thing and being petty over the years. So I mean, but like I said, at the same time, like I don't know the total, like if there's a committee that picks and chooses, because from somewhere I heard that there's a committee that, like, Jay-Z doesn't have the final say, so he has, like, he can put people up there, and then there's a committee from the town, from the city, and they do the choosing. So
basically, he has some type of creative control, but he doesn't control the whole narrative.
Right. I don't know if he gets the final say.
I would say that he probably does.
I mean, if he put on this, if Jay-Z really wanted him up there, he would be up there.
Yeah.
But you know, it's a business, and when you go, you got to get. The NFL's in the business of getting the most eyes on that screen at all times. They're not trying to appease to Lil Wayne fans or hip hop fans in general. They got people that want to see a lot of shit. So, you know, they want eyes. And the hottest, like Wax said, the hottest rapper out right now is Kendrick Lamar. So that's going to garner the most eyes because they know he's going to say A minor.
Right.
The whole world singing that.
I just don't feel like at that point that should be the cherry on top. You know what I mean? Talking about that specific situation.
Right, I get you.
The way the world is today.
Right.
You know, it's almost like they're highlighting that moment. It's almost like I've heard some interviews that the people in the South aren't responding to this situation well.
Right.
Like, you got people from Texas, people from New Orleans who feel like, man, Kendrick better not come down here with that shit.
Right.
Based off of that. Like, they have no real problem with Kendrick. He's never done anything to these people as far as ulterior motive, like fuck the South and different things like that. And he's catching backlash because they want their artists to represent their... You know?
Yeah, they want to put people from that place in position to win for that state, and I get that because, you know, from a standpoint, it's only like respect. You know what I mean?
Right.
But on the flip side of things, it's kind of like a bad look for Drake. It's a bad look for Young Money, Cash Money, like, you know what I mean? Because y'all know Kendrick destroyed him in this battle. You know, you're also not letting Lil Wayne perform. So it's kind of like, you know, they're shitting on New Orleans, or not even New Orleans, but just Young Money, Cash Money at the same time, even though it's not like really looked at it like that. But the underline is, you know, fuck Cash Money, I guess. Like,
I got you.
I think they should put No Limit up there, man. That's where the whole No Limit, the whole ghetto dope scene on the whole thing, man. Like, that would be my shit.
Because that's our era.
Hell yeah.
Max out of jail now, so you know he'd definitely be able to perform, man.
Right. Get video call Mystical from his cell.
Stop. I mean,
Right.
but nah, man. Now, some would say, you know, with everything that's been going on in the industry, that Hurricane Chris wasn't wrong as far as his narratives about 50 Cent and how people just want to go to New Orleans and, you know, set a precedent that, like, we're taking over.
Right.
Yeah.
And Hurricane Chris has been very vocal
Right.
these last couple of months is how he felt about representing his hometown and the acts that go on when you're there.
Right.
So, you know, would you think that fits Hurricane Chris's narrative on how he was pissed off about 50 Cent and, you know, the situation with that?
It kind of does, but like also it seems like Hurricane Chris wants the spotlight on him because he hasn't made any music that's touched any charts in how many years.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is like his 5 minutes of fame again to go in on people who's kind of disrespecting the state, but at the same time it's almost like you have to put somebody on. If you're gonna make money in my state, let other people from my state make money with you.
Yeah.
It's like almost like a no-fly zone. You got to check in kind of thing.
That's
You know
what I
mean?
was thinking.
Right.
Like, you know, let me know when you're coming.
Right.
That way I can have people put in place to make sure that you get out of here safe.
AKA extortion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, let me know when you're coming so you can drop that bag off. And, you know what I mean?
And it's kind of like both of them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's just my take. I don't know. I don't know if y'all see it that way or.
Somewhat, but like, you know, as far as like the 50 thing down there in Shreveport, like, because that's where Hurricane Chris is from. But like, I don't even know if niggas in Shreveport is checking for Hurricane Chris that much. I mean, they know him, but like, if they had a choice between watching him or somebody that's dope and hot at this point, like, I'm sure they would choose somebody else. Even though that's his hometown, they probably love him. But like, come on, like, we ain't heard nothing from you. Even when you was popping, like.
I totally agree. It's almost like, who do you check in with?
Right.
Like Man and them up top, or Ray and them down there, you know what I mean, down in the bayou. Like
7-Eleven.
Who do you check in with when you go out of town? Matter of fact, I don't even want y'all to answer that shit. I don't want y'all to say another word until they do 3 things out there.
What is that?
That's like, share, and subscribe. Because it costs you not one dime, Wax. You hear me, dude? It don't cost you a penny.
Right.
So if you guys can do that at home, we'd be very appreciative of it. Now, moving forward, I guess this is the topic of the fucking day. And when I say I'm not talking about any blood relation. I'm talking about Uncle Shannon, a.k.a. Uncle Shay Shay. Did y'all? No, I'm not even going to ask did y'all hear it because I know y'all heard it because we all heard it together. But what is your thoughts on that released audio of him getting some of that shocking to me?
Like, that shit seems like it was shocking to me. That shit seems like it was staged to me. Like, be honest with you, it just seems phony to me.
Now, what do you mean by stage, dude? Break it down.
Like, he fucking put the shit on and then made some humping noises and shit. And was like, that's my Michelle. Like, who the fuck talks like that?
Nobody.
When they're bound, they're like, yeah, nobody says, oh yeah, that's my Michelle.
Like,
you don't even say nobody's name. When's the last time you said somebody's actual name when you were talking to them? Think about it. When do I ever say Illy? No, that's like I say you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't really say people's real names.
No, and on top of that, when you up here in the act of doing a consensual thing between 2 adults,
right?
That's the last thing I'm worried about.
Right.
Is yelling out your name.
Right. Your proper government name.
Hell
Get out of here. and then but see, the part that had me is like, then he goes right out and starts selling dick pills.
Right.
Instantly and making a joke about it. I was like, man, you set this up. It was a great rollout for your product, but like, cut it out.
Now
It's like he's killing 2 birds with 1 stone.
Right.
Because like first and foremost, everybody was questioning his sexuality, and they thought he might have been gay or in the closet. You know what I mean? So you're killing that bird, and then on top of it, like after the Cat Williams interview, went up, and like he hasn't been able to match that success on interviews.
Right.
I mean, even though his shit is going up still, it's not as big as that interview.
Right.
So it's gonna get, you know, a peak in his like algorithms and whatnot. And thirdly, like you said, he's rolling out these little red pills like for having sex and shit. Like it only makes sense. It's just like, you know, he used this opportunity to do all three, I guess.
So he had all the motive to be fake.
Right.
Do you think so? You think it was like fake? You think it was set up?
Yeah, it was definitely scripted.
Right.
Like, cause I'm not ever on Instagram Live,
Right.
but I know you can't just throw your phone on the bed and the shit starts recording.
Right.
You know what I mean? Plus, if there was like, how long was the recording? Like a minute and something?
Nah, it was like 5 minutes.
Oh, see,
A few.
I only heard a little cut of that though, but that's funny anyway, because
That's my Michelle.
Like that shit, bruh. I would have rather heard Martin Luther King in a sex tape with Coretta. Like, now Coretta, I need you to lick these balls. Like, straight up and down, man. That shit was like embarrassing, like a little bit, man. It sounded like they both had their clothes on and they was reading like, Papa, and then called him Papa.
Right.
Like, I like being called daddy like the next motherfucker, but like, come on, man. Don't start changing it up. And
Yeah, Papa's too East German. Papa. Like, the next thing is Papa. Like, nah, bitch, don't.
my bad, bruh. Shit. Go ahead.
Let's keep it at daddy, and that's it.
He said it sounds East German, like, so Papa. Like how they be saying Bronny James be talking to LeBron.
Like, more dick, Papa.
Another spot of cock, Papa. Like, that shit was fucking scripted, man. I personally think that they had their clothes on the whole time.
I don't. I think he was down. He was getting down to business, but I know it was scripted.
Then he was like, yeah, I told y'all. I told y'all motherfuckers I be putting in work. Like, nah.
Yeah, that's something you don't want to see or hear ever. Like, you know what I mean?
That's a personal thing that happens between you and whoever it's happening with. Not to say you can't create a little, tape for your own personal, you know what I mean, your own personal enjoyment.
Right.
But at the same time, like Wax said, you got to hit, go live, and then you got to confirm that the shit is going live. And then you place the phone upside down.
Right.
And then, like, I guess he's still, with ESPN, which I don't want the brother to get fired behind his own personal activities that he does outside of, whatever's going on. But at the same time, that was his way of clearing up all the rumors. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, who cares what people say about you? You're getting to a fucking bag every fucking day. So, like, let the motherfuckers, as James Earl Jones would say, let them wait.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? Let them think what they want to think. Because at the end of the day, you're the only person that got the answer to God and whoever else you're dealing with.
Right.
So it's like they're going to say everything about anybody. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
They talked about Jesus and called him everything but the Son of God. Do you think he went out and made a tape like, I am the Son of God, watching, and God came down with his hand and like, no. It just was what it was. My dad always has a saying, let your yay be yay and your nay be nay. And in between that, you let the rest figure it out.
Right.
You let them figure out what they want to figure out about you, because everybody's always going to have something to say.
Right.
And I personally feel like that didn't justify his case on if he's straight or not. And it's just like, I don't give a fuck at the end of the day.
He made more questions and shit.
Hell yeah.
He put more questions out there for us.
Like, I'm a shit.
So let me ask y'all this. Like, I don't know if y'all get into the conspiracy type stuff like I do, but like, you think it was like maybe like a humiliation ritual, or where he's on his way to the next level? Because it seems like whenever like somebody's on their way to that next plateau in fame, they always make them do some wild shit. Something always happens to them where they got to get humiliated. But then they go to the next spot. So do y'all think it might have been some shit like that?
It could have been. That's been happening since the beginning of time. It's like the tar and feathering process.
Right.
You do something back in the day, they dump hot tar on you and then put chicken feathers on you and then parade you around town like, look at this motherfucker.
Right. But I'm saying, like, as far as like what I'm talking about, but then it's just a small humiliation, then you Because when you're tarred and feathered, you end up dying probably. But like,
I was just saying, as far as trying to humiliate a person,
yeah, I know that.
Just knock them down a few pegs.
Knock them down,
like,
but then to boost them up so they can get to the next level of fame.
Because then after that, they reinvent. I don't want to say reincarnate, but they reinvent their image, and you know what I mean. Now they're in more commercials. Right. Now they got more TV time.
It's like they give you more to lose, just so now they can control you more.
Right.
Because the more you have, then the more you can lose, and the more you get accustomed to having that shit. Then they're like, all right, now we need you to do what we told you to do,
like,
or else we'll take all of this shit from you.
Put that dress on, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Listen, Hollywood is a strange place. So who fucking knows what the next level for him is, if that even is a thing for that situation.
Right.
I personally think it was in bad taste, man. You don't have to do all that just to let motherfuckers know. Like, honestly, like, unless somebody comes out like he had a boo thing or something like that came out and was like, yes, me and Shannon are a couple.
Right.
There's nothing to talk about.
Right.
Like, who's Shannon's boo thing, that would be proving that he is in fact gay.
Right.
The nigga that be at the game with him.
Listen, speaking of which, I seen a damn meme talk about this is Shannon's Michelle, and they had that guy up there. I'm like, and I think it's a stylist, but like, what if he comes out like, I don't want Shannon. Shannon ain't Shannon's butt stick now. But honestly, like they're putting things on him that, a jacket to wear. Nobody even came out and said anything because it takes two to tango.
Right.
So, like, if you're saying it's about this man, you have to almost have receipts
on
proving that he, in fact, has a gay lover, I guess.
Right. And truth be told, it's nobody's business anyway. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care one way or another.
Right.
But it's funny because people try to paint you that or, put that jacket on, like you said. And that might not even be the case.
Right.
But it's just like there's so much other shit to worry about out here than who's gay and who's not, who's in the closet and who's not.
That just means you made it. Once they start saying you gay, like, nigga, you made it.
Right. Because at that point, they're trying to tear you down before you could even become who you're going to become. Right. And it's a lot of...
once you get to that point, that's what they say. So that means that's the next plateau is when they start saying that shit. Because when he wasn't shit, they wasn't saying that shit.
Yeah, he's gonna be in Super Bowl commercials now and all kind of extra shit. Watch, mark my words.
Well, that's something that I wouldn't want to have happen to us as far as the next step. Let me eat a bowl of ice cream on camera and shit, and then show pictures of me 15 minutes later on a toilet or some shit like that. Like, if you want to humiliate a motherfucker, like, you know what I mean, like. I don't want it to be that extreme, because that's a bit extreme if you ask me. I agree with Wax, man. It's just like one of those things to where to get your eyes off of what's really happening in the world, and let's worry about if Shannon Sharpe is straight or not. Like, who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's that brother's business, man.
Right.
But moving forward, keeping it in the entertainment business / sports world, I heard that Tom Brady might be coming back to the NFL.
That's a possibility, I guess.
And what I heard is that they have Miami looking at Tom Brady to be their next quarterback, being that Tua got hurt.
Right.
Dude, how do you feel about that shit? Like Tom Brady being 47 years old trying to make an entrance back into the NFL.
If anybody can do it, probably Tom Brady could come in and look decent. But like, just at some point, you just gotta let it go for Tom. Let it go.
He'll be the oldest quarterback that, there was Vinny Testaverde, Drew Bledsoe, and my man from the New Orleans Saints, Drew Brees. Them guys was the 3 oldest quarterbacks that I've ever seen doing what they do. But Tom Brady coming back after retiring twice, Wax, what do you feel about that? Do you feel like Tom Brady might make a comeback? And if so, do you think he'll be beneficial to that franchise?
I kind of want him to come back so he can get his ass broke up. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I'm a Tom Brady hater from the door. Like, so I kind of want him to come, and I think he'll do all right in Miami. I'm not saying he don't got weapons down there, or he's not good enough to take him, somewhere. But I think he gets hit a couple times, he's gonna regret coming back though, and that's what I want to see. I want to see him getting up off the ground mad, cussing at people and shit. That's just my joy. You know what I mean?
Go ahead.
Do you feel like it's going to be under the LeBron James umbrella? Like if LeBron can compete at the highest level of his abilities at 40 years old, that he can come back at 50 and do the exact same thing.
Like I said, if anybody can do it, Tom Brady can. He got the receivers. He can sling that shit around, like So, but I don't want to see him out there because I'm tired of hearing about Tom Brady. But he sucks behind the cameras. Like when he's a commentator now, he's terrible.
Right.
So that's why probably he's like, let me get back out here and do something I'm actually good at.
Right.
But I don't know. I can see him doing it though.
Yeah.
I can see it happen.
What's Miami's line looking like this year?
I think they're all right. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure.
I hope they're fucking paper mache. I hope they run through them cats to get to Tom Brady and just hurt him.
Tom Brady's gonna be running around at a rascal and shit like
yeah.
like 50 years old though, like, and that would be like something that the world has never seen. Like damn near a 50-year-old quarterback making his way downtown, if you will. And here's the fucked up thing about it: if he is able to come back and do like a major comeback, he might fuck around and get him to the Super Bowl.
I don't see that.
Man, you got the cheetah out there, man. Mixed with Waddle.
That's not enough. They might be able to win their division, but that's all I'm seeing. Like I don't see them getting too far into the playoffs. Not the first year at least. And like with the hits I'm hoping he takes, you know what I mean? I don't, he'll be all busted up by the playoffs anyway.
But at that point, and this goes to both of y'all, does that now fit does that change the narrative from Mahomes being the NFL's favorite? Will he have to split the limelight with Tom Brady on who they're going to pick as the favorite? Because a lot of people out there feel like the NFL's already scripted. Mm-hmm. Now, does that mean that he's going to have to share some of that? Because like basically, if if Patrick Mahomes is supposed to be the new Tom Brady, you still got Tom Brady.
Right.
So like, I
mean, yeah, I guess, because it is still Tom Brady.
Right.
But like, you're also talking about the defending Super Bowl champ of last year.
Right.
Back to back.
Yeah. So.
Could you compare that to Jordan going to the Wizards?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, depending on how it worked out.
Right.
I mean, if he goes out there and does good, then no, it's not compared to that because Jordan's team stunk.
Yeah.
But if they go out there and like I said, and stink it up, then yeah.
I got you. Damn, that's crazy. That right there is crazy in itself. Tom Brady coming back and making an impact, if that does happen, remember where you heard it first, DWI, because we're bringing that exclusive to you. So, moving forward, fellas, I seen on it's been all on the internet and the TV about the immigrants and the situation that we're having with them now eating cats, dogs, ducks, swans. You dig what I'm saying? Like, they're eating everything but what they're supposed to be eating. What the fuck is going on out there, man?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, they some people say they are, some people say they aren't. It's hard to say what's true or not, you know what I mean? Because it's become such a political fucking hot topic. So I don't know. But there's the video of the lady eating that cat, but she's not an immigrant. So it's like she was just a crazy ass fucking lady that was eating the goddamn cat.
They said she had fur all in her blood and all that shit. Like, what the fuck is really good? Like, when did a hot dog with relish, mustard, and ketchup become too much? Or a nice hamburger, or a slice of pizza? Like, when has that, become too much for the whole public to be able to digest it, if you will?
Right.
Opposed to just going out there, seeing some random cat, picking it up and taking a bite out of it. And then, like you said earlier, last time I checked, do you know how hard it would be to pick a cat up? Like, I watched a cat fuck up a damn dog. Do you remember that shit? Like, that little ass kitten fucking, used its claws of greatness to fucking, get that dog off of it. So, do you see a cat letting it eat you?
Nah, unless she lured it in like, like come here.
Like, but at that point,
Jump out of that motherfucker.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think about it, Wax?
I think it's all
You
crazy.
think it's true?
I kind of do, because there was like a bunch of clips, but like some of them were proven to be a lie, but like some haven't been.
Right.
Like the main problem is the influx of immigrants coming across our border with no, like they
paperwork,
or like no resistance.
Right.
Like our shit is just wide open. It seems like.
And then the wild part is they get to come over and then they get welfare and health care, and there's like we got so many actual homeless people in this country that could use that assistance, or just poor people, in general, black people, poor white people, they could all use that same assistance, but we don't get it, and they get to come over here fresh off of wherever the fuck they came from and get unlimited amounts of
resources,
of food stamps, and they get their rent paid, and it's wild.
That's insane, man.
Do you feel like some of them immigrants is going to catch on to American ways and start selling them stamps?
Probably. Yeah, why wouldn't they? And I hope they have something like it. Our immigrants hit us up. I need some of them stamps.
Some of them good stamps.
Yeah.
You know that it's 10 cents on the dollar, right? Look, we try.
Right.
It's 5 cents on the dollar for those food stamps. So you know what I mean. For every dollar, we give you 5 cents.
So if we got any immigrants in the crowd, like hit us up.
555-1212. We all live at 445 Rutler Road. So please send your donations in and your food stamp cards, because now they're on a card. Right. So I will be, using that card to get more kitty litter so you can draw those motherfuckers in, and I'll take. Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, what shouldn't happen is they shouldn't allow immigrants to come here and then help 9 other families or 9 other people in one, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because it seems like they're starting to take over like little like apartment buildings and like little towns and shit, and that shit's wild. So
I'm about to say, and I get it to a certain point. Like if they're leaving where they're from to come and make a better life for themselves, so I understand it. That's what this country's been built on. But there's a way to do it. You know what I mean? Especially when you already have your own people here that are living in the squalor, like where they came from. They come here and they live better than the people that have been here for generations.
Right.
That shit's weird to me. It's like, man, take care of us first, and then worry about helping everybody the fuck else.
Right.
Well, you might have people that feel like, certain demographics of people have been living off the system since the beginning of the system being created. So it's, to some people out there, it's the same thing. You dig what I'm saying? If you're a able-bodied person and you're not going to work, or you're not creating a situation to where you can drive in more revenue for your current situation, then some people look at it like it's the same as people that's been on welfare for generations. So, this country's all screwed up. And I agree with you both as far as help us first. Because last time I checked, in order to get into any other country, you got to have documentation.
Yeah. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
That's one thing that America should do, is start pressing all these other countries that they're coming from. Right. You know what I mean? Like, press them to stop them from leaving, or, something. I don't want to say put a wall up, because that shit's not going to work. But there has to be something done. You know what I mean? Or they're just going to keep coming over whenever they want. Like, and that's fucked up to say, because I know they're going through it too. But like dude said, we gotta take care of home first before we can help anybody else. We need to help ourselves.
And the wild part is, most of those countries that they're coming from, America got a hand in fucking their country up anyway. So you know what I mean? Like, we're kind of responsible for the situations that a lot of these countries, those Central American countries, are, because our government has been meddling in their shit for decades too. So, and uprooting their systems of everything. So
of government.
Right. So it's once you get into that kind of geopolitics stuff, it's
a double-edged sword.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope, man, on whose fault is what. But at the same time, like, man, when they tell you they don't have money, they're lying. Because they got money for everything they want to happen. They just don't got money to give your broke ass.
Right.
Or they don't got no jobs to help you fucking make more money.
And then they say that they don't want to work. You know, the American people say that other American people don't want to work, which is bullshit. They just don't have the opportunity.
Or they don't want to work for fucking pennies.
Right.
Like, I'm not trying to bust my ass for fucking $5 an hour and shit.
Yeah.
But then these other people come in and they will. So that's why they get hired. That's why you know what I mean? If you went to a restaurant probably 6 or 7 years ago, right, you would see a lot of black people in the kitchen, you know what I'm saying? But then you look in go to a restaurant now, you see the restaurant, it's a whole bunch of immigrants working in the kitchen. Yeah. And they're probably making
South Americans.
They're probably getting paid either under the table or making way less than an American would take to do the same shit.
So let me ask you this then. Does that now change the system? Does that change the whole infrastructure? Meaning, what you won't do, he will. So let's hire him and his whole family, pay them what we was gonna pay you as a whole, you know, $20 an hour. We can divide that between 5 people or 4 people and give them all $5.
That's exactly what it is. And they've been doing that shit for years. That's why whenever you call customer service or something like that, you hear somebody who doesn't sound American.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they're shipping jobs out that for people that'll do it for cheaper, save money on labor and whatnot, and turn a profit and make more money. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah.
At that point, I'm be honest, that shit sounds like fantastic business. Because if you ain't gonna do it and you will, go ahead and sit in that seat, Pablo. We're gonna give you a couple nickels and you make this shit crack off. And that motherfucker, just.
Yeah, to a certain extent, you know what I mean? But you know, I mean, when it comes to the country, like there needs to be regulations on that shit, and that's where the problems is happening, right? Like, I don't fault the company for hiring this person, but there should be regulations where they can't hire that person.
Right.
Like, if you don't have documentation, you should not be allowed to work over here. Period.
That goes.
You should, and if you do hire somebody, you should have to pay them the same shit you would pay anybody else. You shouldn't be able to pay him $10 an hour, and then you know what I mean, where everybody else makes 15 or 16, but just because he's willing to make 10 because he's not from here and not documented
And doesn't know the rules.
That's taking advantage of it. And that's damn near slavery.
And the wild shit is, this is just a curveball. They've been doing that shit to women. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm just throwing that out there because, like, you know, you have a bunch of women that don't get paid what they're supposed
just
to. Yeah, but
just because they're women.
Bingo.
I agree, Wax.
It's
That's a
all
good
messed
point.
up, man. It's really messed up because it's selling America out, and then, you know, at the same time, like, we're dealing with like a bunch of billion-dollar corporations who can afford to pay Americans and get our economy bustling again and stuff, but we just choose not to save money and cut corners, and this is what you get.
And then you get a whole bunch of people that don't have any work, and they turn to crime, and it's just a cycle. That's what happens. You know what I'm saying?
You see all of that on like the political agendas on both parties. Kamala Harris got all these immigrants in here, and they just came in here and did all kind of stuff to all these different women and blah blah blah, which could be true. You know, I'm not going to say could be true, but you know, at the same time, it's almost like who's to say that it's not happening because of that reason?
Right.
And they use that a part of their political agenda. To where you have people that's been here the whole time and you're still treating them like shit because you won't hire them and give them that chance because you know somebody else will come in and do it for cheaper.
Right.
So it's like I said, it's a double-edged sword because that person that you get, you don't know that person and what his capabilities or her capabilities are as far as a decent human being.
Right.
So you get him over there, yeah, he'll work 20 hours a week, but he got a hankering for taking chacho from, you know what I mean, people and whatnot. So like it's, you know, yes, he'll work 25 hours for a nickel an hour, but right after work that motherfucker's gonna have a nice beer and start slaying shit. So, you know, it's fucked up.
It's a catch-22.
It is.
Right.
So, it sucks being an American and living in this country for all of this time and seeing how the world has developed into this just because of a political agenda, to when it's supposed to be unified, having a unified front saying, I will help thy neighbor, I will help the people that's next in line. But the people that are next in line aren't even the people that are next in mine.
Right.
They have a whole different agenda set up, like, well, listen, they're not going to work out anyway, so let's just gut that out and just put people in place just to have somebody here, like a warm body, filling that slot. Mm-hmm. So America, you got to get it together. Lady Justice, Lady America.
Right. Yeah. And I don't know the solutions for it. I'm not in politics and all that, but there got to be something.
You know what their solution is going to be? Fucking computers and AI is going to be doing everybody's job, and everybody's going to be shit out of luck.
And it's going to be fucking pandemonium out here.
I'm telling you.
Unless they just start paying everybody, giving everybody money to just live life, and that's it. But even that's gonna cause despair if you don't have a purpose to you know what I mean? If everybody just gets money and you just sitting around, it'll be fun for a little bit, but then that shit turns into, what they say, idle mind is the devil's playground.
Right. Not to mention it fucks up the infrastructure. If you give everybody money, it puts everybody on the same level. Right. So now there is no middle class, low class, and higher class, because the people that are smart with their money, they're going to save it to become independently wealthy. So now, what did you do to get here? Well, I worked my whole life and I built up a corporation, and that corporation has turned into a Fortune 500 company. Opposed to, I came over here and saved up all my money, and now I'm just as rich as you are, without the work to put into it. Now, I understand what you guys are going to say at home. It's about working smarter, not harder. And I agree to a point. But in order to have what we have, you got to put some type of work in. You got to pay your dues. You can't just expect handouts, but it's all on what you want for your life. You can't just sit around smoking weed, looking in the job in the wanted section, thinking that a job is just going to knock on your door like, who is it, job? Like, that doesn't work that way. You got to do your due diligence. Go out there, show them people that you can work, show them that you're dependable, you show up on time, minimize your complaints, and grow that way. That might be an old way of looking at it, but at the same time, that's the only way that we know.
Right.
Opposed to just taking handouts and saying, well, I'll let the government be my daddy and the streets be my mama. It's just all ass backwards, if you ask me. So I'd like to take this time to say, America, get your shit together. Put your poop in a group and get it together, because we need you for not only this generation, but the future generations. And what are we teaching our kids? That you can do nothing and get something, and that's not reality. It's never been. So with that being said, we came, we saw, we delivered. Now next week, we're going to come straight back at you. Same time, same location, different material. Peace.